And I think I never opened up about this part of my life because it was something that I didn't imagine happening to myself. As I grew up from a little girl, I had a mom and I had a dad. My dad also, he lives in Colorado now, but he made sure to let me know that it was always important to have a relationship with Christ. And you know, as a little girl, you grow up and you dream of that day that you're gonna get married and have a happy ever after in a family. And as I got closer to that point in my life that I was gonna get married, I said, I just imagined my happily ever after and having my family and kids. But it didn't happen that way. I got married and I had a daughter, and the unimaginable happened to me. I was in an abusive relationship. And though the physical scars healed, the emotional, it was something that I had to deal with daily, and it brought me to a point that I was just broken. I didn't even know who I was anymore. I would wake up and I didn't even know God was still there, even though He was. There was times when I looked back and I was just like, wow, God, you were there, because I could have been dead, Jesus. I could have been dead, but I'm not. And after a while of just being told lies and being told things about myself that I wasn't, I started to believe them. I started to believe things about myself that weren't true. But God. I got to the point that I said, enough is enough. Not the first time, not the second time, but finally the third time. When I left, I said enough is enough. I had a little girl that looked up to me, and I knew one day I could not have my little daughter look at me and say, one day I want to be like mommy, and I want to be in a relationship like mommy. And I knew, God, you have more for my life than this. This is not my life, oh God. I knew there was more for myself and for my daughter. So I left. Enough is enough. But God was my source in this. God was my source. I couldn't have done it by myself. I needed God. He was my source. And at this point, I stood on Psalm 73:26. And it said, my flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. He just wasn't my portion while I was going through. He just wasn't my portion while I had to build myself back up. But He is my portion now, and He is my portion forever. He is my source. He is all I needed to survive, because I am a survivor. I am a survivor now. I survived. And I'm no longer a victim, but I am a victor. So I am victorious now through Jesus. I thank you, God. And He is still my strength right now, this very day. He is my strength. And He was all that I ever needed all along. And as they read earlier, Psalms 37:1-9, it was just talking about trusting in God and delighting yourself in Him. Not worrying about the evildoers. So you don't even have to worry about them, but delight yourself in the Lord. Trust in the Lord. That's all it was telling us to do. Don't worry about evildoers. Don't worry about what's going to come to them, but trust in God. Delight yourself in Him and do good. And so right now, I trust God. I do good, and I knew my healing came came. I knew the complete healing came for me when I got to the point that I could pray for my abuser. I know that might sound crazy to some of you guys, but that's when I knew that my healing came. Because at the end of the day, that is still a lost soul. At the end of the day, that is, how can I ask God, God save my brother, or God save my sister? How can I go out and I can evangelize to somebody and say, God, I want you to do this for them, but I can't ask God to save my abuser's life as well. So I knew when my healing came, when I got to that point that I can say, God, save him. God, use him. God, speak to him. God, right now, whatever it is that he's going through, oh God, I break it. I don't want him to go through it, oh God. I pray right now that you can just use him. And God, speak to him, oh God. Let him know who you are. And lastly, but not least, through all of this, I used to just question myself, and I used to say, why me? What's wrong with me? God, why did you allow me to go through something like this? Or God, what is wrong with me? And you know what he told me? It's not what's wrong with you, it's what's right with you. It was the light in me that allowed them to see what they really wanted to be. And all along it was God. He is my source.